Hi there.
Hello. That's an important one right there.
What is it?
That is, well, what on earth could be in this box? Oh boy, good big things are coming. Hello and happy Earth Day. I got a lot of work to do here, and probably lots of videos just going to get edited down and sped through because it's probably going to be a couple of hours worth of work. I'm going to try and put this into a short form video for you to all enjoy. But what is happening here? Well, let me zoom in and show you. This hive has so many bees in it. Look at that. Some giant ball of them just hanging there on the front end. They're just hanging out there. Those are mostly nurse bees. That's why they're not leaving the hive. They're still flightless at this point. And their job is, just house duties. But there's so many of them in there. There's not enough work for them, and it's just staying out of the way so the other bees can get their stuff done. Lots of bees coming and going. Lots of them climbing on the outside of the hive for the same reason, just making room. And it's an ideal time to do something called a split. And what this means here is, first of all, that kind of activity usually implies they're maybe getting ready to swarm, which is how nature splits a colony. The queen leaves with more than half of the flight able bees, and they go off and start a new colony somewhere else. The remainder stay behind and make a new queen and keep on going. I need to prevent that from happening. I don't want to lose half of my bees when I have another hive that is completely empty. I had a colony not survive the winter, and I've cleaned that hive out, and it's ready for bees. So I'm going to be doing a split. This is a human orchestrated swarm. I'm going to take half of those bees, roughly, put them in the other hive, and then introduce some new frames into this one we're looking at, so the queen has a new place to lay, and the crowding will go away, and any desire to swarm should go away, and we'll have a colony that can build up again. And we will have a new colony in the empty hive. It will no longer be empty. So that's what's happening, and I'm gonna just get busy. I got a lot of work to do. Lots of little things. One of the things I'll be doing here today is I have to, very first off, after I get inside there, I need to find the existing queen. I need to find her. I need to cage her so she's safe. I'm going to mark her because she's never been marked before. She should ideally have a marking on her so we can spot her more easily, and also so we know what year she was born. She's a 2021 bee, so she'll get marked with a white dot when I find her. And I might find her right away, or I might be searching for a very long time here. Hard to say, but for you guys it shouldn't take very long because I'm going to edit out an awful lot of stuff. So here we go. Enjoy. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and butt in here with some voiceover, because everything I just told you I was going to do kind of went wrong. I spent the next 3 hours painstakingly going through this hive, frame by frame, multiple times, trying to find that queen. And guess what? I never did find her. There's probably 80 to 100,000 bees in this colony, and she does look different, but not so different that she's easy to find. A needle in the haystack. We are watching video here at 10 times speed because, well, we just need to speed things up so we can get through this, and I'm going to cut an awful lot of this out. You're not going to see the whole process because you don't need to. It's very redundant. But I went through, there are 8 frames in that box. I went through every one of them twice. And after a few minutes, well, actually, no, I should say after about an hour and a half, I went to the other box and did every frame there twice. And then I came back to the first one and did them again. And as time went on, I was getting grumpy. My back was starting to hurt. The bees were getting grumpy. Nothing was going right. I never did find my queen. And, no, it's problematic. It's not the way we want things to go. So the objective here was to find some frames with brood to move over to start a new colony, and then take a bunch of these nurse bees and transfer them into that other box. But I have to make sure that the queen does not accidentally go with them. The only way I can do that is by knowing where she's at. My objective here was to catch her, contain her, mark her, keep her contained while I moved a bunch of nurse bees over. But since I never found her, I could not guarantee that I wasn't accidentally moving her to the new colony. And that's totally not what I wanted to do. So now we go to plan B. How do I ensure that there is no queen in that other hive? There's only one queen at this moment. She needs to stay in this hive, not go to the other hive. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do part of the job I had to do anyways, which is find 3 frames that I felt had adequate amounts of brood. Baby bees, every stage, from eggs to larvae to capped pupa. That's going to make the new colony grow for the next 20 days while we get a colony established. And also that gives those nurse bees, I'm going to move over there, a job to do. They have to tend to those frames and take care of them. So I'm going to show you this first one in real time here. Shaking off the bees because I want to make sure there's no queen on there. So if I can knock off 90-95% of those bees, it's very easy to look and guarantee that I don't have the queen. And that's what I'm doing there. I'm going to take that frame, one more shake for good measure there. There we are. And I'll go and I'll take that and stick that in the other box, the other hive, where I'm doing the new colony. So we'll speed up here and rinse and repeat. 2 more frames of brood, all stages. Get them shook off and put over there. There's a 3rd one. And also already in that hive are 5 frames of various forms, honey, pollen, everything they need to survive over there. It's already in the hive. And the only thing that won't be in that hive at the end of this stage is a queen. They will be a queenless colony. But you see here what I just did. I took out 3 frames. I have to fill those spots. I have 3 frames that came out of the other box ready to go in there. And that's going to provide a place for this queen in this box. New territory for her to start laying eggs in. That's something that helps prevent swarming, giving her a space to work. It was crowded before. I took out some of the crowding by pulling those frames. But guess where I put the 3 frames? Because I planned everything so well here. If you guessed inside the blue tote, you're correct. There they are. So I had to move boxes and move them back. And there we put those frames in. There's nothing on those frames. They're a little bit dirty from the colony that died out. These bees will instantly get to work getting them all cleaned up and ready for the queen to use. So they're probably already working before I even got out of there. Next step, I'm adding on, you can barely see it, it's almost out of frame there. I laid down what is called a queen excluder. It's like a screen door. The nurse bees can fit through the holes in the screen, but the queen bee can't. By putting that on top there, normally that's used for honey supers to keep the queen out of the honey. By doing this, I'm going to ensure that the queen cannot get into that top box. Almost 3 hours later, I never did find the queen. It's exhausting. So I had to revert to plan B. I don't even know if I'm in frame here. Plan B is this. Take 3 boxes. The bottom 2 being the colony with the queen in it. And then a queen excluder, which we usually use for keeping the honey clean. The queen can't go past the queen excluder. That's in between the middle box, the 2nd box there, and the 3rd box. And then above that is the box that's going to be the new colony. And I loaded 3 frames of brood from there, from that bottom box. 3 frames of brood, which is young bees in the making, up in that top box. Put the queen excluder in between them. The queen cannot get into that top box. which is what I need is to know is that she's not in there. She can't get up there, but the nurse bees, a bunch of them will go up there and take care of the brood. So that box tomorrow will be full of nurse bees, and I guess that is how I'm going to go about populating the hive. So here we are the next morning, and I'm going to take that box, that 3 hive box now that has those 3 frames of brood and hopefully a ton of nurse bees up inside there. They've been cleaning those other dirty frames that were in there, and they've been tending to those 3 frames of brood. And we know there's no queen up there because she can't get past that screen I put in, that excluder. So we're gonna pull that box off, and yeah, I do a little peekaboo in there too, just to see what the numbers look like, and I was impressed. There was more bees in that top box than I anticipated. And that was one of the things I was worried about with Plan B, was that it wouldn't have enough bees up in there. I want a lot of bees in this new colony to get it off to a good start. And I was concerned that there wouldn't be enough. But believe me, I was impressed with the numbers. So we'll take that box and we'll put it over here. And boom, just like that, we have a new colony. Baby bees on the way, nurse bees working in there, there's food, there's everything. What's the one thing that's not in there? The one thing we know it's not in there? The queen. So what do we do with a colony that has no queen? They actually have the ability to make their own queen. There's eggs in there. As soon as they realize that they're queenless, they will start going to work, treating one of those eggs with royal jelly. They will start making a queen. But the reality is, I don't want them to make their own queen. I would much rather have the genetics that I know. And so, let's go back to the video that I teased you with right at the very beginning. So I just received a very special delivery. I think it's pretty obvious from the label what we can expect inside. Don't you just hate those unboxing videos on the internet where it takes the person forever to get into the damn package? I hate those too. But I wanted to preserve that label because I thought it was kind of cool. So anyway. There she is, marked yellow dot on the back of her thorax. Yellow means a year ending in 2 or 7. She is a 2022 queen bee, and a couple of nurse bees with her to attend her, keep her happy, healthy, take care of her until she's released into the colony. Isn't that something? Did you know you could buy a queen bee and have her delivered by UPS? There she is. You see, she's longer than the other bees, darker, and she's ready to lay eggs. She is all ready to go. She just needs a hive and a supporting colony. So now, 6 hours later, it's time to install our queen. Look at all those beautiful bees. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she hasn't got a lot to say. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, but she changes from day to day. Want to tell her that I love her a lot, but I gotta get a belly full of wine. Her Majesty's a pretty nice girl, someday I'm gonna make her mine. Oh yeah, someday I'm gonna make her mine. So the way we introduce a new queen she's in this cage where she can't be harmed by the colony of bees who don't recognize her pheromone yet. And there's a lump of fondant or candy stuck in there that'll take them 3 or 4 days to chew through, and that'll release her. By the time they finish chewing through that, they will accept her as their queen. They'll be used to her pheromone. So I just have to remove this cork stopper from the end and then squish her into one of the frames. So these corks don't come out very easy. They break apart more than they want to pull out. But after a few minutes of gouging there or with a push pin, we get the cork out and we expose the candy or fondant, which is really just a blend of honey and confectioner's sugar, and it's roughly the texture of those mints that you find at weddings, those little pastel mints, or they call them butter mints or something like that. I forget. But anyways, the only place you can find those mints is at a wedding, and every wedding you've ever seen them at, they got them from another wedding previously. That's how that works, just in case you were wondering. Anyways, let's see what I'm up to here in this part. Her pheromone. They are all over her. So I'll show this. They are all over her cage. They think she's an intruder. But she will be accepted soon. And this is the reason for the queen cage. If we just put her into that colony, they would kill her. They'd ball up on her and they would kill her because she's an intruder. Her being in that cage is for her safety. They can't harm her. She's perfectly safe in there. And over the next 3-4 days, as they slowly chew through that fondant, they will release her. It's a little time release just by the bees chewing away that candy. By the time they chew her out, they will have accepted her pheromone. She will be their new queen. And that is how we split a bee colony and requeen a hive. Hope you enjoyed this. They're doing well.